Hi everyone and welcome to the Geekanoids Mac and Tech Show number 2. This is your chance to join me on UStream and chat about some of my reviews that have appeared on my YouTube channel. Now you can find my YouTube reviews at youtube.com/DavoMrMac. That's youtube.com/DavoMrMac. Now you don't have to go over to my channel and look at the reviews. Some of the content on my live broadcasts will obviously cover some of the reviews, but if you just want to drop on by to this live broadcast, ask anything at all that is Mac and tech related, and I will do my best to engage you and to answer your questions. Now before we get things underway, I've got a very quick announcement. I did a test show last week, and then this is obviously my first show good and proper, but I'm going to change the scheduling very slightly just so it fits in with people's time zones, because 9 AM GMT isn't a very good time to actually be broadcasting. So from next Sunday onwards, the Geekanoids Mac and Tech Show will broadcast at 6 PM GMT time, so that's 6 PM in the UK, and that equates to 10 AM Pacific time. So if you can drop on by, I'll be very grateful, and you can ask anything at all Mac and tech related. Now I'm just going to cover off some of the reviews that I actually published last week. The very first one is a review of the 12 South Book Arc, and this is a laptop stand for your MacBook or MacBook Pro. Now quite a few people didn't actually appreciate what this product does. Now I'm going to be showing you a little preview down in this corner here of my broadcast of what that review looked like, and if you want to catch it on my YouTube channel, then obviously fire your browser over there now. But the 12 South Book Arc people didn't really get. Now this is the device, and it's a very simple design, and basically what it's for is to stand your MacBook or MacBook Air or MacBook Pro in when you're using it in the lid closed mode with an external monitor. Now people didn't get it. They didn't understand, well, why would you want to do that? Well, if you're using your MacBook Pro with a second monitor, you can obviously use it open, and you can mirror the display, or you can extend your desktop display so that you've got a dual display setup. But some people use it in closed mode, and the benefit of that is that your graphics card in your MacBook Pro is then going to be being used to its full potential to drive that external monitor. So some people use their MacBook Pro all day as a laptop, as you would, and then when you come home, close it, pop it into the Book Arc, and then you can use it with an external mouse and keyboard and that external display. A lot of people do that, believe it or not, and this just solves the problem. It takes up such a little amount of desk space. It's beautifully designed, and I couldn't understand why people commenting on the review of the Book Arc didn't understand quite what this achieves. So I hope that sort of cleared that up a little bit for you. And I just urge you to check the review. It's a great product, and as I say, it looks great on the desk as well. So that's the 12 South Book Arc that I reviewed last week. Just very quickly going to show you a product that I'm going to be reviewing next week, and this is a little preview for you. It's not a brand new handset, but it's one of these little babies from Nokia. This is the Nokia 5530, and it's one of their touchscreen devices with a 3.2 megapixel camera on the back. I think it's a really nice device. They did this the 5580 Express Music phone, which was a big chunky phone, and it wasn't very responsive. The touchscreen wasn't responsive at all, but this one, I don't know if I can do this to the camera, but the touchscreen is very responsive. It's just very light taps. You can pop back out to the main menu, accelerometer, flicks the screen round nice and quickly. And the difference between this one and the 5580 is, look, it's nice and thin, it's nice and pocketable, and the UI is much more responsive. So I'm going to be reviewing that over the next week or maybe 10 days. That should appear on my channel. This is the Nokia 5530. So if you want to pop on by and check out that review as well, then please do. Now, I just want to cover off a question as well. A couple of questions actually. One of them was on one of my reviews over on YouTube. I did a review of the 5th gen iPod Nano, one of these little babies with the video camera on the back. And Cheeky Banana asked a question. Cheeky Banana wanted to know, how do you switch on the video effects? Very valid question. It's not obvious, so let's pop this into video mode. Pop it around that way. So as you can see, this is recording, or it's got the video camera on the screen at the moment, so that's in video camera mode. Now, to put the inbuilt effects on, you simply click and hold the center button for a couple of seconds, and then the screen fades back, and then you can scroll through all of the effects till you get one that you like, and then you push the center button to select it, and now it's recording, or now it's getting ready to record using that effect. And then obviously to start the recording you push the center button again, and again to stop the recording. And to change effects you just do the same again, hold that in for a couple of seconds, and then you can scroll through all of those effects that Apple included with the 5th gen iPod Nano. So I hope that answers your question, Cheeky Banana. Thanks very much for commenting on the video, and as I say, great little device. I'm sure you're enjoying it. I think Apple did a fantastic job with this 5th gen iPod Nano. Certainly over the last week I've had at least half a dozen emails from viewers asking what phone I actually use. Well, for many years I was always an iPhone user. Didn't use anything else. Started off with the 1st gen iPhone, and then moved over to obviously the iPhone 3G, and then I had the iPhone 3GS, which was just a review product, and it sort of lost my attention to a certain degree. Don't get me wrong, iPhone, absolutely fantastic device. The applications are fantastic, the device is brilliant as well. But what started to get me niggled was I was tied in to using Apple kit all of the time. Now, because I review a lot of kit, I like to have as wide experience as I can when it comes to testing kit, and I wanted something just a little bit different. You can see me looking down already. People keep asking what is my phone that I'm using at the moment. So let me just unlock my phone, and I am currently using an HTC Magic. It's a Google Android phone. It says Vodafone on the top. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. It's actually not locked to Vodafone, so I'm using it on O2. I'll get a good number of minutes. I get 800 minutes a month and 1600 texts for just under £20. It's got a camera on the back, and as you can see it says with Google, and the Android operating system isn't as good as the iPhone. I'll put it straight now, it isn't anywhere near as intuitive to use, but it does what I want it to do. I've got email on here, which I obviously use a great deal whilst I'm out and about. I've got messaging, MMS. I've got a Twitter application, so I can, it's called Twidroid, so I can use that to update my Twitter feed whilst I'm out and about. And I've got my Copilot Live 8 sat-nav application, which I use occasionally if I'm going out on an appointment, and it makes calls, which is the main thing. One thing I found with the iPhone was, yeah, it's got some fantastic applications, but I was getting distracted by them a lot of the time. I don't know if that makes sense. I was forever constantly just fiddling with another application, which is great in itself. It's a nice user experience. It was just taking me away from getting what I needed to get done throughout the day. So, and The iPhone obviously is a great media player as well for both music and video. Well, this does music okay. It will play it back. It's not fantastic quality. It does video okay as well. I can check out the odd YouTube video. So it certainly does the job. It just doesn't do it as elegantly as the iPhone. But for the money, I mean, I picked this up for, it was about £240, something like that. And then I put my own SIM card in it. I think that is good value for money, and there are loads of apps out there. If you want an app to do a particular thing and you've been used to an iPhone, then my guess is you will find the equivalent on here. There is another little app on here I just want to quickly mention. It's called, just bear with me, I think it's called Shop Savvy on here, and I'm sure that you can get it on the iPhone as well. Yeah, there's one here called Shop Savvy just at the bottom here, and it's a barcode scanner, and I've actually used it a couple of times. What it does is you go into a shop, you find a product that you're interested in buying. For example, I was in HMV and picked up a Blu-ray disc. You simply start up Shop Savvy. It starts your camera going on the back of the device, and then you scan the barcode. Alright, it's a bit embarrassing doing it in the shop. I certainly don't think it's illegal in any way. And then it searches its database and it tells you where the cheapest online purchase is for that same product and where the cheapest local purchase is. So you could walk out of that shop 100 yards down the road and purchase it cheaper, or if you're not desperate to buy it there and then and it's cheaper online, then obviously you can buy it online. So that Shop Savvy application is fantastic. Now I know you can get similar apps on the iPhone, but I was pleased that I found it on Android Market, and it works very well. So sorry to give such a long answer, but my current handset is an HTC Magic. Windows 7 is due out very, very soon, October the 22nd. I am having my own Windows 7 party, and I used the House Party website when Microsoft first announced their little marketing plan for the Windows 7 launch, and I ordered the sorry, didn't order, I signed up to hold a Windows 7 party, and they sent me a little box, a little party box, and it seems that Steve Jobs might have possibly received one. And I just sort of found this little video. I don't know if it's playing correctly. There seems to be a problem with streaming these videos at the moment, but certainly in the edited version of this UStream broadcast, I will be showing you the Steve Jobs Windows 7 party unboxing. And I just wanted to bring to your attention that next week I will be publishing my little video of my Windows 7 party, so you can see some special guests that I've got coming along, and hopefully you'll enjoy the video. Just moving on, I wanted to cover off that we're actually expecting to see some Apple announcements over the next week or so. I want to know what you think of this as well, so if you can obviously get back to me with your thoughts on what we might see next week from Apple. Now I'm expecting to see some new iMacs. I use an iMac, you can see one behind me here. I use that for my video editing. It's a Core 2 Duo iMac, and I'm expecting from Apple that we will see some quad-core iMacs. It would be absolutely fantastic if they bump the processing speed and the processing capability of these iMacs up. It's certainly possible from a technical point of view to get a quad-core processor in there, and I think it would be absolutely fantastic. Imagine, same price point, but a quad-core processor would be brilliant, absolutely awesome, and I urge Apple, I know they're never probably in a million years going to watch this UStream broadcast, but the guys out here, your users, really do want an iMac with a quad-core processor. Obviously there's some talk about them changing the design very slightly as well. We might see slightly slimmer cases, a similar design to their cinema display, so you might lose the silver band underneath the black bezel. And we also might see, to go alongside the new iMacs, we might be getting a new keyboard, which would be really cool, and we might also be getting a sort of touch sensitive Mighty Mouse. Now, I have never ever liked the Apple Mighty Mouse. Going right back quite a few years to when Apple first released the iMac, and they did this hockey puck style mouse, the round one. Absolutely useless. Don't know why they did that. It just didn't work. It was so uncomfortable to use. It was like a toy. It wasn't like a mouse. And then the Mighty Mouse came out. It's all right. It was a good attempt, but it was really a designer type look to it, and it wasn't functional at all. I don't know very many people that actually stuck with their Mighty Mouse, and I know a lot of people that buy the machines like me, and you'll relate to this. You buy an iMac, everything comes out of the box except the Mighty Mouse. It stays wrapped, and you use whatever mouse you're going to use. I mean, my one, I use a Microsoft laser mouse 6000, I think it's called, which is quite a bulky looking device. I'm looking at actually changing over to, there's a new Logitech mouse out, MX Revolution Extreme or something, or I can't remember the exact model name, but I'm looking at changing this to a slightly lower profile mouse. And also that brings me back to that Bamboo Touch. If that works with the multi-touch gestures, then I might forego a mouse completely and just use the Bamboo Touch if it offers what I'm looking for. Anyway, I digress. So back on to the topic of what we might get from Apple. The iMacs, I think, are definitely coming, and then I think we also might see a new MacBook. Now, everything in the MacBook Pro range is obviously the aluminum casing, and all look very nice. There's one remaining MacBook, which is the white version. My prediction is that they're going to redesign that slightly. I think it's going to stay white, the polycarbonate casing, but I think they're going to make it into a slimmer design. I think they're going to introduce the black bezel that we've got on all of the MacBook Pros. So the white MacBook will look very similar once it's open. I think the only difference you're going to have is obviously the plastic or polycarbonate casing. I think they're also going to bump the speeds up very slightly, just to bring them nearer to the 13-inch MacBook that then was relaunched as the MacBook Pro very recently. So, new MacBook, and possibly, I don't know if this is going to happen next week, but I think we possibly might see something on the Apple TV front. Now, this might be tied into the Mac Mini announcement as well, where we might be seeing a new Mac Mini. There's lots of things that people are hoping they're going to see next week. My guess is that the Apple TV will go away. It hasn't been a great success for Apple. They haven't sold very many by Apple standards. Yes, they've sold thousands of them, but by Apple standards it hasn't been a great success. And a lot of people use the Mac Mini as a home theatre PC anyway. They attach it to their television via a DVI to HDMI port adapter, and they connect it into their amp, and they use it for streaming content to their PC, to their TV. So if they're doing that with the Mac Mini already, and it's a lot more versatile in that scenario as well, then I don't see the need for them to keep the Apple TV range. They've said all along it was just a hobby, so I think that they're going to get rid of it, and we're just going to have the Mac Mini, which with an extra piece of software can also have the full functionality that the Apple TV had. So the iMacs and MacBook and possibly Mac Mini announcement, I'm predicting will happen on Tuesday. It's just my guess, but Tuesday 13th of October I think we're going to see something happen from Apple. If it doesn't happen on the Tuesday, then certainly by the end of next week. And then over the following couple of weeks I think we're going to see something announced concerning the Apple TV, whether it's that they're retiring it or maybe releasing a new version. So anyway, that's about it for this week. I'm going to just remind you that from next week, so it's next Sunday onwards, we won't be broadcasting at this time. From next Sunday onwards you can join me on UStream on this channel at 6 PM GMT, so that's 6 PM UK time, or 10 AM Pacific time. So please do drop by. A couple of shout outs. If you want to check out my reviews, you want to head on over to youtube.com/DaveOMrMac. If you want to check out my website, then you want to head on over to Geekanoids.co.uk. Well, thank you very much for listening. This has been Dave from Geekanoids.co.uk. Don't forget, join me next week, 6 PM GMT, 10 AM Pacific on UStream. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.